We are here to demand local control, not Hochul control. Bottom line is, what the governor is attempting to do, her heavy-handed approach, trying to control what happens in our local municipalities. Local residents have the right to determine what goes on in their communities. That's what this fight is about. Home rule, enshrined in our New York State Constitution in Article 9, is about the ability for local government, local officials, local residents to control what happens in their communities. And as the supervisor said, we do have housing issues on Long Island. We are concerned about our seniors. We're concerned about our young people. But these are things that we are taking the steps to address on our own. We don't need the governor with unrealistic, unachievable proposals coming in and telling us what our business is. We do not have an emperor in the state of New York. We have a governor in the state of New York, a governor who should be listening to the people in her state, who should be listening to local elected officials who are telling her that what she is trying to do is not possible. Look at Nassau County, for example. In Nassau County, there are 50 Long Island Railroad stations. Governor Hochul has proposed a target of 50 housing units per acre in a half-mile radius around every one of Nassau County's 50 Long Island Railroad stations. There are 503 acres in a half-mile radius. That is 25,000 housing units around every one of Nassau County's 50 Long Island Railroad stations. What does that mean? 1.25 million housing units in Nassau County under the governor's proposal. Even if we had the space to do that, and understand, this isn't open space. These are residential neighborhoods. These are businesses that have grown up around these railroad stations. And what she's attempting to do is put people out of their livelihood and fundamentally transform our residential neighborhoods. It cannot happen. Nassau County has a population of 1.4 million people. What would 1.25 million housing units do? It would triple Nassau County's population. What would we do for schools? What would we do for sewage? What would we do for water, police, fire, all of the vital infrastructure that the governor simply has decided to ignore, not just in Nassau County, but all across the state? $250 million to rebuild infrastructure, one ocean outfall pipe that Nassau County tried for 10 years to be able to build was $1.5 billion for sewage. We are talking about tens of billions of dollars of infrastructure that would need to be built if this were achievable. Talk about a sole source aquifer. Long Island gets all of its drinking water from one aquifer. At 2.5 million people between Nassau and Suffolk County, we are already overpumping that aquifer. What would happen if Long Island's population were to become 6 million? Governor, where do you get more drinking water? Where is that going to come from? You may believe that you have magical powers, but you cannot manufacture something that does not exist. So the governor, respectfully, allow those of us who actually know Long Island, allow those of us who actually know the streets of Syracuse, who actually know Buffalo, who actually come from our localities, walk those streets every single day. Let us determine what we're going to do with respect to our own jurisdictions, what we're going to do with respect to our own housing. And you will see that those solutions will come. You should be working with us. You should not be working against us. And Governor, I got to tell you, this conversation is much bigger than to be crammed into a few-week budget cycle. This is a conversation that needs to happen outside of the budget. Now, you've lost the ability to pull it out on your own. But we are planning on working with Democratic majorities in the State Assembly and State Senate to make sure that this is out of the budget. so that we can have a conversation, not under threat, but have a workable conversation as to how we can achieve these goals, we can meet these needs, and we can ensure that we're maintaining local control for our municipalities. Again, local control, not Hochul control. Thank you.